Welcome back to Unmasked. I'm Ronnie Thompson.
And I'm Adam Lazowski. Keep listening to hear this week's question. Hi, this is Adam.
This is Ronnie.
And I'm Anna.
And today we're at GSU asking students a specific question, which is...
What would you say to your past self, or what would you want to know about your future self?
Yeah, let's go.
Something I'd want to know about my future self is like the career path I end up going on and kind of how my life turns out, where I end up living, what my family life is like. Yeah.
Do you have any predictions right now or like desires, or do you just kind of keep your mind open to any possibilities?
I'm hoping to move into a big city like New York, but we'll see what ends up happening.
I would tell my past self just to not give up and like try harder and don't sell myself short. I feel like I missed out on a lot of opportunities and didn't explore things that I want to explore now, but I feel like it might be too late or whatever. So just to like get out there and do things.
Do you have an example of one of those missed opportunities if you want to share?
Yeah, for sure. So I transferred to BU my junior year. I'm in my senior year now, my last semester. Woo! And I feel like I should have maybe joined more clubs or gotten more involved in just like different campus jobs or organizations, tried to make more friends. But I just came here and I didn't know anything, and I didn't try to learn anything really, and I wish I did. So
what is something that you would tell to your past self?
Probably just to not be such a stickler. Like, life is unexpected. It doesn't really follow rules, and sometimes you just gotta roll with the punches and adapt. Not everything is going to be expected. Not everything is going to be like fitting into a mold, and the sooner you accept and kind of grow with that, the better.
How would you say your life changed once you changed your mindset?
I'd say it just became a lot more fun. Like, the aspects of my life that I liked before, I retained, but I was able to enjoy like the day-to-day aspects. It was very much a stop and smell the roses kind of thing. But yeah, everything was just a little bit more pleasurable, I'd say.
I would tell my past self that all the things that I was definitely stressed about at the time all worked themselves out, and that I was really stressed for no reason. And I try to take that into account now with current daily stresses.
I think I would tell my past self to like chill out. Like you don't have to do everything, and like not everything is the end of the world, and eventually you'll figure it out and live your life and be fine.
Do you feel like you've mastered that mindset now?
Absolutely not.
Are you working toward that?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, awareness is the first step.
Thank you, I try.
What would you want to tell your past self?
I feel like 2 years ago I was very devastated, like breaking up with my ex. I would just like tell my past self that everything is gonna be okay and you're gonna move on and you're gonna be happy in the future.
Are there like tools, like emotional tools that you've learned from that experience that you take now into your future?
Well, I feel like it's just like giving myself time to, I don't know, to process my emotions, and just like knowing that it's okay to be sad, it's okay to cry, and whatever.
What would you want to know about your future self?
I think I would like to know if I get into grad school, and if I don't, what's going on. I think I just want to know if I'll be happy and satisfied with my life at that point.
What degree are you pursuing for grad school, if you want to share?
Physics. Yep.
Well, best wishes.
Thank you.
What would you tell your past self?
Don't be so worried about college, man. It turns out all right. I was like super scared about college.
Were you planning on ending up here?
No. I actually wanted to go to Northeastern. I didn't get in.
How did you deal with not getting into Northeastern in the past?
It kind of sucked, and then I was still in high school, so I just like kind of like went to high school and like everyone was getting their acceptance because BU kind of came out later. So like I just kind of watched everyone get accepted, and I'm like, wow, that really sucks. But then BU came out like a week later, so it was only like a week I had to deal with it. I just knew I wanted to come to school in Boston, so. But yeah, I was like super nervous about like coming to college. I remember like the night before I left, I like cried. Like I was like really nervous about school. So yeah, I just tell myself like don't sweat it. Like people here are cool. So.
I think I would want to know what career I end up doing because I've been super indecisive with it, and I was undecided for my major my first year. And now I'm neuroscience and was pre-med, but maybe not. So we'll see where I end up. I don't know.
Is there any other like pathway that you would be interested in besides neuroscience or pre-med, if you want to share?
Yeah, I was originally thinking maybe like engineering or just like anything. Like I just think kind of all the majors are interesting, so I had a hard time choosing. So that's why I think it would be interesting to see what I end up doing.
Do you feel like it makes sense for people to have their lives decided at such an early age, like in your 20s, or do you feel like it makes more sense for us to go along and explore the world and find ourselves in that way?
Yeah, I definitely think taking more time and like exploring things makes more sense. I know some people, like when they're young, they know what they want to do. So I mean, if you know what you want to do, that's great. But I feel like a lot of people, it takes more time to like figure out what you really like and everything.
I would tell my past self to have more fun during middle school. Like, you didn't have to get straight A's all the time. You should have been a kid. So, yeah.
Do you feel like that changed in high school and college?
For sure, yeah.
What would you want to know about your future self?
If I'm happy and if I'm in like a peaceful state in life is probably all I would want to know.
Would you say that in your past you've achieved that?
Not really. I feel like I've just always been very anxious, and I hope just in the future I can navigate that a lot better, and that where I'm at in my career or whatever, and wherever I live, that I'm just happy and, you know, peaceful.
One more follow-up, if you wanna. Do you believe more that like there's fate and there's things that determine the way that we end up, and it's kind of just like if it happens, it happens, or that you have control over that?
I think kind of both. I feel like kind of navigating life is realizing what you don't have control over and then also what you do have control over. And I feel like the future is kind of a mix of both. Like things are going to happen that you can't control, but there's also a lot that you have like power in your life and that you need to kind of figure out how to navigate.
What would you want to know about your future self?
I like to play music a lot, and I'm kind of really into jazz music right now, and I think that if I could talk to my future self, I would like ask him how that went and like if he's got any gigs and like if his music taste has changed at all. Maybe he could give me some tips to like get better at jazz now.
What would you like to know about your future self?
So I'm very curious on like after 5 or 10 years whether I will like myself or still dislike myself, like sometimes, currently.
How do you feel about yourself now, if you want to share?
I mean, not bad, but like deep in myself, I think I don't really like myself. I mean, some qualities or the life or the personality I'm pursuing or somebody I want to be. But yeah, it will take some time and effort, but yeah, that makes sense.
What would you want to tell your past self?
So something that I've been thinking about a lot lately that I felt like it took me a long time to kind of understand was sort of making myself the best person of who I am and having people come to me instead of trying to like appeal to what I think other people would want me to be, I guess. And I feel like in doing that, it kind of makes you so much more self-confident and like appreciative of yourself and your own values, I guess. Kind of makes you more of your own person as opposed to sort of a copy made for someone else.
What would you want to know about your future self?
How do you think the people closest to you would describe you, and how do you think that perception's changed from your past?
Would this be like the same people you know now in the future, or would this be like different people that you meet in the future?
I'd say like ideally like the people that you're close to now, just to see if their thoughts about you have changed.
So what would you tell your future self or your past self?
Honestly, I feel like my brain cannot go further than 1 month ahead. I cannot think about the future, and I cannot imagine my career or anything that would happen in the future. I have never planned anything. I've never planned where to go to college or what major am I going for. I've never planned to be here in Boston. Everything just happened, so I cannot think about anything that would happen in the future. So,
do you want your life to continue going in that way, or do you want it to be different?
I feel like I love it this way, because if I kept on planning things and my plans did not work, I would be so devastated. But this way it's like really nice, and like life is filled with surprises, you know? And I'm loving it this way.
What would you want to know about your future self?
It's gonna sound morbid, but honestly how I would die, because I'm like really scared of death, and it would bring me like a lot of peace knowing like how it would end. So yeah.
Would you want to know how more than you would want to know when?
Yeah, definitely more how than when, because I feel like if I knew when, I would just be measuring my life and like, hey, I'm gonna die in like a year from today type thing. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. How do you think that would impact the way you live though? Like
if you knew how
would you change
your lifestyle?
So like let's just say it's like old age. If it was just old age, you know, I can't really like affect that, but if they're like heart attack, maybe I like stop eating bacon for a while, you know? And, like be a vegan. Wow. Yeah, but like I know I can't change the future, but like I can maybe alter it a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
I would do the opposite actually. I would eat more bacon because I know that's exactly what. So like
enjoy the bacon.
What's the point? What's the point of like stopping if it's gonna happen anyway?
It's such like a weirdly complex issue. I feel like it's like you can't really change the future, but like can we change the future? And then it's like you get all like existential and stuff. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
To be honest, I don't think I want to know anything about my future self or tell anything to my past self, just because I feel like it would kind of mess up like the process of just like going through life.
We're debriefing after the episode now, and we're going to answer the question for ourselves. So Anna, what would you want to know about your future, or what would you tell your past?
So for my future, I've been contemplating moving away from America, and it is a very scary place to be. Not like America, I'm saying like figuring out where I'm gonna be next. That's what's scary right now. Just because there's a lot to figure out. Like I did not know an adult, like being an adult would mean you have to figure things out like ASAP, and like you take control of your life. Like no one's deciding for me, so I have to look where I'm gonna live, like housing, like the price of it, work. I need to get a job. The good thing though is that I at least have citizenship figured out, so at least I don't have to worry about that, which I'm very grateful for, because not a lot of people can say that, you know. But yeah, I would just like to know that everything's all right in the end, and that I'm safe and sound somewhere that is not here. Hopefully Monaco or nice France.
Thank you for sharing.
Now we're asking Ronnie and Adam, what would you tell your past self, or what would you want to know about your future?
So I don't want to know about my future, so I'm gonna go with the past. Like I'm just like the present is my future, to be honest. That's how I view it. So with my past, I would have said that it's not all or nothing, and that balance is really important. It's like success is just doing something. It doesn't have to look a certain way or be a certain way or reach a certain preconceived milestone. It's just if you do it, that is your success because you're trying something new. And so this past couple years of my life, I've really been putting that into practice with learning new skills like skating and learning new musical instruments and trying out new mindsets in my life. And that wouldn't be the case if I were still stuck in like a black and white, all or nothing mindset. So yeah, that was one thing that was really important for me. How about you, Adam? Future, past?
Past.
Past.
Focusing on past, simple, short, sweet. I would tell myself, be conscious of how much time you give to others and to other things in life, because you won't be able to give enough time for those who really matter. And yeah, being conscious about how you provide. your time to others, and then also how you find time for yourself.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Unmasked. Tune in next week to hear
us again. Take care.
And today we're at GSU asking students a specific question, which is,
what would you tell your future or...
Today we're at GSU asking people a question, which is, what would you tell your past self?
That's it for me?
That's it for me?
That's it for me.